Hi, I'm Rebecca Lundy, and I'm with my mentor, Lisa Breeling, and we are going to be reviewing the secondary lesson plan 1.
Okay, this lesson pertained to when provided a worksheet containing black analog clocks, the student will draw the hour and minute hand to represent 9 different times when directed by the instructor. So if we go ahead and look at the rubric on this instructional planning, you definitely had a great job with understanding what the IEP goal was, the objective was, the objectives of the lesson. You had materials ready and ready for the student to go ahead of time, so that's a great job. You also had everything tied to the general education curriculum standards, which is so needed. So I appreciate everything. Look at use of technology. You used an iPad, which the student knew all about, and you had a clock download.
It's a funny name.
That he was able to see the time, and then he was able to choose one of the different answers. It was like a multiple choice type of thing on the iPad, and it lit up and it made a fun correct sound when that happened, and he seemed to enjoy that also. So I appreciate that use of technology there. Instructional strategies, again, you did a great job with modifying the pace of the lesson, providing organizational cues, state the prior knowledge of what was needed. You provide a detailed description of the activity, the lesson's objectives, again, what was next, what was happening. Again, it goes back to knowing your student, and you know exactly who your student is. Rebecca has a great understanding of where her students are at, where they need to go, and she does a great job with that. Her data collection is also excellent with that. Adapting and modifying here. Use of a dime board for reinforcement. Reinforcement item, again, she had a great selection for her students. They could choose the reinforcement item, which he had Smarties, and he seemed to enjoy those. Yes. So anyway, he did an excellent job with that. Modifies the learning environment. Again, there was the classroom was set up. The area where the student was working was excellent. She had all the positive reinforcements there for the student. The worksheets, everything was needed in a bin for him to use and work ahead. She had no downtime with this. So excellent job there. Again, evidence of using advanced organizers for the study in the room, yes. Provides brief explanation to the student, yes. There was objectives of the lesson, yes. Includes list of questions that's going to be asked, yes. She had that all demonstrated in her lesson plan. It was great to see that Rebecca had actually tried or worked on her lesson plan. There was a couple times she had to look back at it, but again, she knew what she was doing. She didn't spring from the hip, as some people say. Let's see. Let's go on to the next page. Efficient guided practice. Again, I'm just looking at the lesson plan. You provided the opportunity to practice with the iPad. You provided the game that was on the iPad that went along with the clock. When you tried the worksheet for the student, he had a great understanding of the presentation. There was great visuals there. Again, it was wonderful. He had to do another worksheet where there was a time worksheet matching digital clocks with an actual clock, and Jackson knew exactly what he was doing without prompting. So an excellent, excellent job. From there, knowing this lesson that you did, where do you think you need to go with this student?
The student with this lesson surprised me a little bit.
I want to apologize too. You're it's fine. Jeff. Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you.
Sorry. I want to apologize there. I said the wrong name.
No, this student did really well with this lesson. Next lesson, I would immediately just move on to the half hour and then the quarter hour. Okay. I feel like this is a concept he's definitely been exposed to before. And so with the refresher of the lesson, he can quickly move on. He did very well.
Do you find yourself at times with some students going back sometimes and just doing a refresher on some of the activities?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think definitely right now, because we are at ESY, it's summertime, he would need this kind of refresher before he is scaffolded to the next step in learning how to tell time.
Yeah.
And a big part of that is just the time of year.
Yeah, excellent. Good job. Good job. Great reinforcers. I love it. I love it. Evaluating the learning process, you just kind of explained yourself there. You kind of know where he is and where he needs to go, but it's great to do refreshers. And again, sometimes I think it's good for some of these students to say, hey, I can do this, and get that positive reinforcement and continue to go on. It was understanding that independent practice was done well with the students. So good job, good job. Again, active engagement. He was fully engaged. You encouraged. There was high fives. There was clapping going on. Positive interactions by all. Just really good job there. Again, there was no behavior issues with this student in the classroom and the way he handled the lesson. So excellent job there. Student engagement. He understood the positive learning environment. Everything. Excellent. It was an excellent lesson. Enhanced communication. Again, Rebecca did an excellent job with her grammar throughout the lesson, the way she wrote her lesson plan, and working with the students. Assessments. Again, Rebecca knows where her students are at, and she knows what they need. And she provides that support, and so they can go forward in their learning engagements. So great job. Again, he has an iPad, but he's also able to speak, and so he's able to answer questions through his speaking. Self-evaluate. What do you think?
I think it went really well. One thing I noticed early on in the lesson, I felt like I wasn't giving him enough processing time. It seemed like I was rushing him through it. And so towards the end, by the time we got to the independent practice, I'm sure you noticed, I was giving him a lot more processing time. And that's when I think he really showed us what he can do by allowing him that 30 seconds. I was counting in my head and giving him about 30 seconds. He started doing the work independently, and that was the aha moment, saying, okay, he does know this. We can move on quickly from here.
Definitely. Okay. You did an excellent job. Good job.
Thank you.